Hey, y'all, it's your favorite Unc. Make sure you hit that subscribe button down below to Nightcap YouTube channel so you never miss a single live stream or video of myself, Ocho, and Gil. Remember, Nightcap doesn't happen without you. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Thank you. The NBA Finals. You got the Dallas Mavericks, Luka, Kyrie, Boston Celtics, JT, JB. Who you like, and what matchup are you looking most forward to?
I don't know who I like yet, y'all. I think we're gonna get 7 and 5 really great games. Might be a couple duds in there, but I think we are really in for it in this series. I think one of the matchups that intrigues me most is obviously what is Kristaps Porzingis going to look like. And okay. I think of a Derek Lively probably before I think of Daniel Gafford, but either one of them in terms of Kristaps Porzingis' ability to pull them away from the paint as their rim protectors, right? And then, okay, so after that, then I immediately go to clutch. And Luka and Kyrie, oh, baby, they light it up when it's clutch time.
Yeah, they do.
Right? Now, we obviously had the Jaylen Brown 3 in the Indiana series. That was big time. I can't. I'm pretty sure we have a game.
The game 4, they were down with like 8 with like 2 minutes to go, 2.5 minutes to go.
Right. And so I cannot say, and I should have pulled up the clutch numbers before we got on here, but I cannot say that I don't trust Boston in the clutch. But recent history tells me that Luka and Kyrie are about the clutch. Right.
Right.
I'm going to stay Boston for now because that's where I've been all season long. And I do think that they have a unique ability to defend and make life a little bit more difficult for those guys. But I could be so wrong. And I just think we are in for a really great series.
You know, do you think it's a narrative where people out there trying to put the media, you and I both in the media, I don't think we've done it, but maybe I'm wrong, that we try to put JT and JB, try to pit them against each other?
I think when something doesn't work, the media's job is to pick it apart.
Okay.
And I think we all would agree, no, it feels like they're a little bit late to the party in terms of winning a championship, right?
Yeah.
Like they were the better team in 2022 and Steph maybe got his finals MVP, right?
Right.
And so I think when expectations are unmet, the human nature is, what will happen? Why? Right? And those two being your stars are the easiest target.
Right. Because I think that, and I've said this, I believe, and I could be wrong, you correct me because you watch basketball, if as much as I do, if not more. I believe JT is the better player. I believe Jaylen Brown has been the better player in the playoffs. When you look at the entirety of the playoffs, if you look, and I know JT averaged more in the finals, in the Eastern Conference Finals, but I thought Jaylen Brown played better. The big shot notwithstanding, you look at the efficiency in which he played with. I said that's why I thought he was deserving of the Larry Bird Trophy, which goes to the MVP of the Eastern Conference Final. What do you say?
I think that's fair. I do think, and again, like, I'm not naive. I know sports conversations don't have nuance, which is, again, why we started this podcast. And thank you for giving me the space to have nuance, because if ever there was a conversation to have a little bit of nuance, it's this WNBA conversation. But when it comes to the Celtics, I think we got to stop moving the goalposts, right?
Okay.
Jaylen Brown earned finals or conference finals MVP.
He did.
Love that, right? Boston, Brad Stevens and company, they put together a team, right? The reason in my mind why Jayson Tatum was less discussed in MVP and all of that stuff is because it was a team. Our colleague Brian Windhorst has talked about how much of the load one has to bear. And because Boston has a team, it looks like Jayson Tatum has had to bear a little bit less. So for me, I do think the Celtics have to get it done. I think Jayson Tatum is still young in his career. He's an excellent ball player. I do not think he has to win finals MVP. I think that is a goalpost that continues to move because I'm not going to penalize him if the guys around him that were brought to the organization so they could finally win a title help to get it done. But
you know that happens. You know that happened. We saw it with Steph. We saw it with Kobe. You know that happens, Monica, when the best player and he doesn't win that Finals MVP. They're like the only guy, and this was before your time, that I don't remember getting criticized for being the best player and not winning Finals MVP was Larry Bird.
That's way before my time. Tell me more.
No, Cornbread Maxwell won it in 8 when they beat the Rockets. and he had 8 points the last 2 games, if I'm not mistaken. Cornbread Maxwell was Finals MVP, but he was the Rookie of the Year, and he had like 33 votes. The Magic got 3. But I agree with you. I believe they need to win. If they don't win, and he plays like he did against Golden State, Monica, it's going to be a bloodbath. You know that.
Well, it's going to be a bloodbath anyway, because I already told you Mavs in 7.
Ooh, Ocho.
I already told you.
This thing is close.
Listen, there's no way to stop Luka and Kyrie. And it is what it is. They have the clutch gene. If the Celtics have too many off nights shooting 3 and they're not efficient from the field, it's going to be a long series.
I really want to believe that they're not going to trip over the 3-point line in that way. Like there's enough basketball prowess that they would not be lulled to their own demise by shooting too many.
But that's who they are, Monica. That's really? Who they are. They take the most. They make the most.
Oh, I just really want to believe, though, y'all. Look, I love what I get to do for a living, but this kind of stuff is actually very agonizing, right? Because you got one fan base that's going to hate you, one fan base that's going to love you. But I can see it go either way, y'all. I think we are.
I do. So can I. Let me ask you a question. Who do you think they start out on Luka? Because I think Holiday and Derek White might be too small. You think they go Jaylen Brown, knowing that he's going to have to give up something offensive because Luka is a monster on the offensive end. So to try to neutralize some of what he does, you might have to give up some of that offensive load, and that's why JT and Holiday and Derek White might need to be really big because if JB starts out on Luka, he's gonna have his hands full.
Well, here's the thing, right? Luka kept getting loose versus the Wolves when them screens came and the switches came. So it didn't really matter who started primarily. I think Jrue Holiday is such a versatile defender that I don't know if they start him on Luka. He was my first thought because I think Drew's size is underrated. His strength is underrated. Like his basketball.
He's strong now
as a defender, the whole bit. Because again, this thing is going to be about making it as difficult as possible. Mm-hmm. And so if you are playing ahead thinking that the screening action is going to come, especially if they end up doing the Luka Kyrie guard to guard thing, like it don't really matter. You know what I mean? My first thought is still going to be Jrue. But I think at points we will see Jrue, Derek, Jayson, and Jaylen. I think they will all get a piece at some point. And to me, that might be the X factor of what the Celtics have in terms of 4 guys that can make it difficult. You ain't know about stop, but can make it difficult.
Luka is a guy that he'll go away from the screen. The Mavericks do a very good thing. They like to set the screen because they know if you put the screen in either corner, they can trap it. They can blitz it. They do a great job of setting the screens in the middle of the floor, which makes it a lot more difficult for you to blitz it or to trap that when Luka or Kyrie have the ball. So what do you think? What do you think is going to happen when they try to run the slip? Because now Lively or Derek Gafford, they slide out, he passed them the ball, and boom.
This is where Porzingis becomes a big deal because his length can at least disrupt long enough to, sometimes they say hold it for a second, right? Like his length can disrupt long enough that either of those guys got to look to survey before they make a pass, and they're certainly got to pay attention if they make a play on the rim. But you're absolutely right in terms of the corners. They put Kyrie in the corner and Luka on one side. Like the space is just too much room. Like it's just too much room. So I'm excited though. I just think what game 1 probably will look different from game 2. And then, it's all the adjustments. Like Jason Kidd has been phenomenal. Joe Mazzulla has been great for this group. Like I cannot wait to see all the adjustments and the wrinkles. Because even though we think we know what happened, I'm sure they got some stuff up their sleeve now. Right.
They do. But eventually, one thing, Monica, you're going to beat me with what I do best. I'm going to give you a wrinkle here and a wrinkle there, but I've got to get back to what got me here. Oh, for sure. This is the lady that brought me to the party. I know there's some other pretty ladies out there, but I got to dance with what got me here, Monica.
Your analogy is why women don't want to be coming on Nightcap.
Yeah, you could. Monica, we got a few more questions, then we'll get you out of here. Okay. Kyrie reflected on his Celtics tenure earlier today. Let's take a listen to what Kyrie had to say.
Last time at Boston, I don't think that was the best, not this regular season, but when we played in the playoffs and everyone saw me flip off the birds and kind of lose my shit a little bit. That wasn't a great reflection of who I am and how I like to compete on a high level. It wasn't a great reflection on my end towards the next generation on what it means to control your emotions in that type of environment, no matter what people are yelling at you. I'm built for these moments to be able to handle circumstances like that. And I've been able to grow since then. So, of course, it's going to be a hectic environment, but I'm looking forward to it. And I see it as a healthy relationship to have with the fans. I almost think about Gladiator, just win the crowd over. It's good to hear the TD Garden silent when you're playing well. They still respect great basketball. So regardless of, the attention that's being paid to what it's going to be like on my end, I have a group to lead.
You like Kyrie's growth, maturity?
Listen, shout out to Insecure, and I can't think of the actress's name that played Kelly, but that's the growth, okay? We got the growth. I love it. And look, y'all, I mean, Ocho, you had some moments with the media, right? Like, you know what it is, right?
Some good ones.
I think, again, and this is one thing that I hope is attached to me in this space. I try to come at this thing not forgetting the humanity of these elite athletes. Just because y'all can do and have done things that most of us can only hope and dream about, it doesn't mean that you are also not human people with emotions and feelings and paths and dreams to grow in, right? Mm-hmm. And so for me, that is a fantastic demonstration of growth. But more than that press conference, what we saw in the last series, what we've seen the Mavs be able to do to get to the finals, it's not just talk with Kyrie. There's real growth there. Now, I will say, somebody sent me a hilarious screenshot that was like, not the media talking about Kyrie like he wasn't an asshole for the last 5 years. Okay. There's a dichotomy there, but we're going to lean in. We're going to lean into this growth. And so I think as much as he's grown as an athlete, he's also grown as a man and a father.
Yes. Kids, so marriage.
Yeah, we're growing.
Natasha Rothwell is the actress you talked about in Insecure.
Growth. She's hysterical. She should get a spinoff, please, Issa Rae. Can we just get a Kelly spinoff? Thank you.
Which duo would you rather have in this series? Luka, Kyrie, JT, JB. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Someone whose basketball ethos tends to lean toward the team that can defend better. The duo in this conversation that has a little bit more two-way is the Celtics duo.
All right. We're gonna see how good that defensive prowess turns out when the Mavs sweep.
Listen, you ain't lying, Ocho. We're gonna find out.
And we're gonna get you out here on this one, Monica. Whose legacy do you think will be more impacted by this outcome?
The Jordan brand, because Jayson Tatum is a Jordan athlete and Luka Doncic is a Jordan athlete.
Hey, this is gonna be big for Kyrie's own brand, Anta.
It is.
Can you imagine Kyrie wins his second title, especially as you said, what he's gone through since he last played with LeBron, 2017, so 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, and half of 23 he was there, and to see what he's become as we talked about, the maturity, the growth, the maturation, marriage, kids, he's at peace.
Yeah,
that's the thing. And sometimes we fight demons that aren't even there.
Man, I'm a Maryland girl. I don't know if y'all said this down in the South, but my mama and I'm aunts and them just keep on living. Just keep on living. And if you keep on living, you are going to be forced to grow.